What's going on, guys? This is Livin here. I want to show you guys some Brusolov's Keep gameplay. It was definitely a pretty interesting round, this one. We came down to a last second to decide who wins the game. So yeah, it was definitely a good round, and I think you guys will enjoy it. I'm rocking the SMG 0818. I'm going to rock this for this whole round here. It's definitely a pretty interesting assault weapon. It has the best stability out of all of the weapons in the assault class, and I feel like out of all of the Name of the Czar weapons that are coming out, this one will probably be used the most. Tried out some of the shotgun, and though it's pretty beastly. The range on it, especially for the slug, is definitely solid. But the fact that it only has 2 shells on it is really going to be pretty limited, especially if you're trying to flank and trying to kill a lot of enemy players. It's not going to be your most ideal weapon in that case. It's going to have to be utilized in different situations, and yeah, I don't see it being one of those weapons you're going to come across and you're going to find someone slaying out a whole entire team with it. The more players that enemy players that someone has to go against using that shotgun, the harder it's going to be, just because, again, there's only 2 shells in it. So yeah, it's definitely going to be the new superior, though, range for shotguns. It's not going to be anymore. No longer is the Model 10 going to be the superior in its range. But I feel like people, if you want a range shotgun, they'll probably still stick to the Model 10. Probably if they want a little bit more range, stick with the slug variant of that Model 10. But just like the Model 10 has an issue with its refire rate. So if Model 10 shoots you and they miss you, the refire rate for the next shot is much slower than if you would deal with another shotgun, or even if you had to deal with another, definitely if you had to deal with like another, SMG that you had to deal with. So, that's what kind of balances that weapon out. But yeah, like I said, I don't feel like that's going to be a weapon that's going to be used that often, or it's going to be much of a game changer. You would have to utilize it a different way. But this will be the weapon here. This SMG, I think. I think people will probably use this probably a little bit more. I put the AAA sights onto it. I don't know, for some reason I kind of like the look of it. I feel like I just kind of can see better with it. This is just the standard edition right here. I could have used iron sights, but like I said, I'm using the AA version. I as well do have my all my assault perks on. So my 2 assault perks that I have on is Juggernaut, which allows me, if I have my gas mask on, to have some protection from damage, as well as I have the Dynamite perk on, where it allows me to sequentially ignite 1 dynamite individually, one after another. So what I mean by that is when I would press my dynamite button to explode my dynamite, they all 3 wouldn't blow up at the same time. I could then individually blow them up on their own. So if I lay 1 down, or I lay all 3 of them down, I'd have to click my button 3 times for all 3 dynamites to explode. So my other perk that I have on is the perk that allows you to remain silent from enemy scouts who have their flare guns out. So you saw that little battle I had over there just a little bit ago, where the scout shot his gun, or shot his flare gun. If I would have, I'm not sure if he saw me on spot, but I'm pretty sure he heard me shooting that enemy player, so that's where he knew I was at. But yeah, with that perk on, it allows you to stay invisible to flare guns if you're not moving or if you're in crouch. So yeah, all you have to do is stay in those 2 positions there, and not be running around. If you're running around sprinting, they're going to still show up you on radar. So yeah, keeping it in the assault perspective here. As you can see, there's some anti-artillery weapons on this map. It's a good amount too, actually. There's a lot of them in these, especially around B. There's a lot of them all around right there, which makes it pretty interesting, especially because the Behemoth on this map is the train. And I've seen, been looking at some comments on Reddit to see some people's perspectives of what they've been experiencing. I've heard some people talk about how they felt like the train wasn't doing that much damage here, wasn't very helpful. And you'll see in the game that we have here that it's actually very helpful on this map for us. It actually helps us bring us back so much that you might actually think the train might be a little bit OP on this map. But with all those artillery weapons there, I've dealt with trains multiple times already. And with your artillery weapons, there's so many of that on the map. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal, I find it. So I don't feel too much that the terrain is too much going to be too OP, or it's not going to be useful at all. I've seen to have neither problems with it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Have noticed though people saying that they feel that the Russian side does win the most. I'm trying to figure out exactly why people might be experiencing this. From what I've been experiencing, the capture zones don't seem like they're unbalanced at all. So what I mean by that is, you know, the distance between getting from D to C is equal there as you're looking right there. Then you get to A to B. So it doesn't feel like there's anything that's too like crazy off of that. I have noticed, as you can see right now on that tower though, you see a lot of my teammates are right there on the tower. So I'm a little curious if maybe people are a little bit of camping happy over there, especially when you're spawning on the German side here. You have that tower is closer to your base, so you know, people might feel the, you know, a little more the need to go up in that tower. So if you're having problems where you're on the German side and you're losing, I would probably go check and see how many of your teammates are on that tower. So that's the only thing that seems to kind of be standing out for me as of right now. I haven't gone too much into the actual capture zone sizes and how they're positioned and whatnot yet, but I mean, I haven't seen anything too crazy stand out to me that would make me believe so much that this map is a little out of balance. I am a little iffy about it only being 4 flags. I'm more of a person who'd rather land it on an odd number than an even number, so something more like 5 instead of 4. But you know, I mean, we've been having these, you know, 5 map, you know, games, and they have the other map that's coming out. The name of the czar is going to be a 7 capture point map. So I mean, it might be kind of, you know, need to have a little bit of a smaller map, but I mean, I would probably prefer 5, but you know, we'll see how it goes. But I'm not sure if that's exactly going to necessarily be the problem with it. I would be more curious to see how many people are going to be on that tower up there, because that seems to be kind of the point where people want to be at. And especially at the very beginning of the game, as you can see right here, we're already pushed back, and unfortunately we were able to recap D there really quick, but unfortunately we're still very much behind. And as you can see, right when you saw when I had died there was just a bunch of my teammates right there, and you know, you're nowhere on the actual flag capture point. So unless you are you know, doing some extreme damage up there, slaying left and right, I'm not sure how much that's going to benefit you. So so as you can see right there, I got myself killed there, but I had one of my new melee weapons that are out there. I forget what it's called, but it's one of the melee weapons that allows you to do damage onto wood. So I'm able to break wood barriers. So that's usually the type of melee weapons I like using, just because I like to sometimes damage wood in certain ways that I can at least peek out, have a good, like, you know, little hole that I can look out through. Good for us, so that we had I had a vehicle spawn over here, so I was able to at least get myself out of that area by D and get ourselves out over here by A. Do some damage up over here. Get flanked from the other side. As you can see, again, the stabilization on this weapon is pretty, from a assault perspective, it's pretty solid. I've had some instances where I'm battling against automaticos, and I can see the recoil just going like crazy, and I'm over here with the stabilization on this weapon, and it's just holding it down, exactly what it needs to do. It's just not moving at all, and it's pretty interesting, like I said, especially when you're from the assault class. There's not much stabilization when you're coming on with any of these SMGs, so definitely fun, and like I said, definitely a weapon I think that people will use, probably more than shotgun, I would think. So I'm gonna come over here and push over here down to C. Got some, what do we got going on over here? We got a little bit of we had a little bit earlier where when the game started, you could see there's a little bit of a blizzard going on. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Obviously, the resolution on it's not up to you know, retail game quality. You know, obviously, I think they're just trying to, you know, I think it's probably the reason is to protect their servers a little bit and they keep the quality low. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I know it's kind of controversial in Battlefield 1 because a lot of people like things on Sinai was a dust storm, and you know, certain weather elements can kind of ruin the you know, ability to, you know, kill people, I guess you could say. But aesthetically, I think it looks great in the game. I think it brings a pretty cool element. But I mean, I as well understand the fact that you kind of want the game to be, you know, you don't want to have all these elements in your way when you're just trying to kill someone. So I kind of go back and forth on how I feel about it. I definitely it's not the end of the world, but it's because you do realize everyone has to deal with snow and whatnot. But I think it's pretty cool. We'll see how well it looks and how well it plays though when the retail of the version of the game comes out. But yeah, so had a really nice spawn coming out over there. Was able to spawn right behind that guy, melee that guy. The magazine size on this thing's pretty beast as well too. I mean, I haven't had too much trouble at all. Being in situations where I'm running out of ammo on it. I'm gonna come right up over here, do some pretty damage with AT rocket. I've been using AT rocket because of that tower right there. That tower is very interesting. If you try to get in that tower at all, and it's so dark, and if someone has a high point on you, they just need one teammate and someone with like a light machine gun there doing damage on you, trying to climb up those little ladders. So if you're an assault player, you already know. You've already been in these situations before where you try to kill someone up on some type of ledge, something like that, and you can't get up top. You'll just pull out your AT rocket gun and shoot them and do some damage, and that'll usually handle them. So that's what I've been doing lately. There is right now no environmental damage that ends up happening on that tower, so I don't know how I feel about that yet. I've had some instances too where I'm shooting way up on the very top where the bell's at, and I'm watching like nothing register at all for my AT rocket gun. So hopefully that gets resolved and fixed, because that, as much as I don't feel like that tower is like essential to have to win the game, because like I said, you should check at the very beginning of the game. If your German team's losing a lot and you're having these instances where the Russian team is winning, I would check how many of your teammates are being camping happy over there, because you find people trying to control that tower so much that you can kind of lose sight of other people who are capping territory. So but if it does become something where they're camping and they're using it correctly, they're able to have a great overview of the whole map and take out enemy players who are on the capture points. Trying to get up there would be very difficult, and so not having any of that environmental damage where I can affect the tower and open the tower up more and make it crumble and break down, I think could be a little bit of an issue. So we'll see how that turns out. This guy's gonna trying to hide right behind there, and I'm able to take out with the AT rocket. So right about there is about the range where I'm seeing the weapon just decrease a little bit. So if you want to keep your shots probably a little bit in between there, you're gonna get a little bit of quicker kills. This would have been a little bit more of a quicker kill if it wasn't for the barriers that were a little bit in the way right there. But I noticed where that guy was at, where the rocks, that's probably the farthest you want to be shooting this weapon. Just because it's the range of it begins, I think, has decreased a little bit, and the damage doesn't go up too well. So as you can see, I pull out one of the heavy machine guns down over here on the side. Like I said, around here on B, there's a lot of artillery weapons. Not just this, but there's a lot of anti-artillery guns, like the ones that you would use to take out tanks or trains. So there is no tanks on this map, so really all those artillery trucks can be used either for the train. And I can't imagine probably you can probably see a lot of the trains on this map, just because you could see there only being 4 capture points, that there's probably going to be a good chance that your team's going to be capped fully at the game. There's going to be a lot of that going on. As you can see here at the very beginning, it already happened to us. And again, we bring it back with the train, so you'll see coming up here in a little bit what the train's able to do. So having a lot of those artillery weapons, I think, will be a pretty healthy balance. I've had it multiple times too, where we controlled the whole game, and the enemy team pulled out their train, and I was able to get onto those artillery weapons, and we were able to, a few couple shots from the turrets on the train disables the turret. So that's usually kind of what you want to aim for. But I feel like, yeah, it would definitely be an interesting dynamic, because I do feel like there should probably be more of a Behemoth game style in this, which has been long kind of overdue in a sense, because if you've been playing a lot of the They Shall Not Pass DLC that dropped, there's like, what is it? 2 of the maps have elite classes as their Behemoth, and then the other 2 have the Behemoth as a tank. So it'll be kind of interesting now to see what Behemoth will be coming out for this round. I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, there's no new Behemoth, but they do have, we have the trains that are going to be on this one in Lepko Pass, and I'm pretty sure the new map, I forgot that came out just recently on the CTE, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to have the Dreadnought on it. So yeah, definitely interesting to kind of just bring back kind of the feel of the vanilla maps again, and bring back these old Behemoths back. We'll see if the what is it? The the Zeppelin will come back again. I kind of would like to see it back again. Now that we have the train back, we have the Dreadnought back, and yeah, definitely would be cool to see if we can see the the Zeppelin come back as well. So I'm trying to stay alive over here. No, they're gonna start pushing me right here. I'm gonna try to put some shots on this horse. I moved back, not quite enough. I was hurt already, so unfortunately, I took him out, but he took me out as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna spawn right up here by B, and I'm gonna have to flank some people that were putting some shots onto me. As you can see, I think there's less stuff going around over there by that tower. I'm still kind of watching that tower, like I said. Every time I die, I'm seeing what the activity is going on over there, and how much people are, like, you know, having a healthy balance on towards this. Something I don't think. I think the more people play it and they kind of figure out how to use it well, you know, they'll be able to use like that tower more. I'm the type of person who likes to shoot and not stay too long in the one position anymore. But some other people, you know, have a different type of play style, and if it works well for you, they might be able to use that tower correctly and do some damage onto you. So we got a player over here that I'm gonna throw some dynamite on. I wasn't sure. I think it's on top of me. I can try to blow up the building a little bit. There are two elite classes on this map. The one elite class that I was in that building, that will spawn in that building I was just in, is one of the sentry kits. And then we got the flame trooper class, which spawns by my side at the very beginning of the game, the German side. So that might be a little bit of the issue. Might be a little bit where I think that the Russian side might have a little bit of advantage, is that they have the sentry weapon at the very beginning of the game near their side, while the flame trooper side is by the German side. I feel like the flame trooper is probably my least favorite of all of the out of all the elite classes. So yeah, I don't feel like it's, if you had a choice between that or any of the other elite classes, you would want to choose anything else but the flame trooper. So, you know, but we'll see how that turns out. Like, I've seen this before. We've had this on Verdun, or not Verdun Heights. We've had this on Fort de Vaux, and you know, you don't see anything too crazy, though. I do think you should grab this. You should grab the sentry kit on Fort de Vaux. Definitely, the one game I've ever had where I've had 100 kills on it was on Fort de Vaux, and it was because I had that kit. So I do feel like that sentry kit is the more ideal one. Now I put some damage on that guy with the dynamite, but you're gonna see the rate of fire on that is not as fast as you would want it. If I had like the automatical there, I would have been completely fine. But because of that weapon, they're a little bit slower, and that light machine class was able to do work on me there. So, yeah, it's something you want to keep in mind when you're using that weapon, when you're using the weapon that you have right here. So now you can see I got my teammates with the train out, and almost got myself sniped there. Fortunately, I'm always carrying smoke. Still using smoke to this day. Crazy. I never thought I would be using smoke as much as I do, but I feel smoke gets me out of so many problems. Not that I was in too much problem. I was around cover, but and I get myself killed right there. But there's other situations where I find smoke has been getting me out of a lot of tight situations, and yeah, it's definitely, I don't know. I find smoke something that, as much as I love the light tank grenade, because it helps me get some quick, easy kills. The smoke keeps me alive more, and if I had the choice of getting a quick kill or stay alive more, I'm leaning on, as of right now, trying to stay alive more. So there's some more of it. It's really fun watching the stability of it. There's nothing moves at all, especially being someone like me who I don't think I have the greatest aim at all. It's definitely nice to have that. It is nice to have them to run it where you're able to at least flank and have them not see you. So I got a little bit of a spree right here. So that's nice. You know, it's going to be kind of hard for you to start shooting at this weapon and to watch your gun just kind of like lose control of your gun. So that's nice. You know, if you ever had that situation before where you know, you have your weapon and you know, you start shooting at someone and you just lose complete control of it, and the guy's able to turn around and shoot you, the odds of it happening on this weapon is going to be much slimmer. I'm going to throw some more smoke, give my teammates cover. I'm going to give myself cover to push myself out over here and help push the scout class that's going to be sniping out over here. Figured as well, so we're going to probably start coming out with their spawn. Team doing very well with the tank, so my teammate in the tank did a very good job in it. take out one of the scout classes. Still got another player out on over here. Getting shot from the side. Yeah, there is the MG0815. That is the sentry class that's on the map that does spawn near the Russian side, and one I do feel will give you that little bit advantage over something like the Flame Trooper class. But again, the map's a little bit larger too, so it's not like a Fort Devo where it doesn't take you too long to get from point A to point B. So because of that, I feel like it can't be that big of a deal. That's why I felt like that was such a big deal on the other map, was because the speed-wise, the speed-wise of it made such a big difference. So on this map, not sure that big of a deal. We'll definitely be able to hold out a point, but I feel like, again, like the more how the terrain plays out I think you'll see a lot more terrain gameplay on this map, just because of the fact that there's not so many capture points, and if you get a team that goes on gets a good wave going on here, and gets some momentum, they're gonna find themselves easily being able to cap all the bases, and then you're gonna have your Behemoth that's gonna come out much easier or much quicker than it would be on another map that's a little bit larger. So I'm gonna push up here on this river up here, flank them from behind on the side. I'm gonna watch my back here a little bit. Teammates are shooting over there, give me kind of an idea where they're probably gonna be coming again. Gonna be up here a little bit. Yep, I'm holding them off again. I am using one of the legendary skins, so as you can see, it's a little bit of like a checkered pattern. But on here, not too bad, not too bad. Definitely hearing some footsteps around. We're hearing something. Nice thing is, I'm able to use a lot of the AT rocket weapon because there is no tanks on this map, so don't need to use my anti-tank mines, which I was using a lot, especially with pre-state of Tor. Even though there's not a lot of tanks there's not a lot of tanks on the map, but there are tanks that will frequently come out, and so I could use the anti-tank mines a lot on that map. No need for that there, and just because, again, that clock tower that's up there does change things up a little bit, so I like probably don't need the grenades as much, just because I don't think I could pinpoint my grenades that well. Definitely not the very top part of the tower. You could throw some grenades in the little slots on the places that are a little bit lower than the very top of the bell, but I feel like the AT rocket would be a little more accurate. So here they are, my enemy players trying to take out our tank. I knew this was happening. I'm going to realize, hey, look, wow, look, our tank is bringing us back into the game. Let me get around my tank and help pick off those enemy players, because if you have used like maybe a tank, or why do I keep saying tank? The train, my bad. If you use a tank or a Behemoth or whatever, where you're just becoming a massive bullet sponge, and you're ever kind of like wondering like where your teammates are at, because you're taking all this damage in, and they're all focused on that, on you, right? So all you need is your teammates just to run around and pick everyone off. So that's why I begin to realize right here, it's like, hey, they're all focused on the train. Let me start flanking around over here. I kind of catch on to it right now, but unfortunately, this is really all broken down stuff all right around me. I don't really have good cover, and so I get myself taken out. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Is trying to help help our people in our Behemoth a little bit, just because they were taking so much damage from people who are laying down. They're such easy targets then when they're in that position. So I kind of always keep that in mind if you have your teammates who are in a Behemoth or a tank, or even in a Sentry class, an elite class or something like that. They're always going to be shooting at that guy. They're going to be such a bullet sponge, and you can have someone who's easily you can take out just because they're too busy shooting at something else. So yeah, we're definitely trying to take a lead up over here, getting up here close. Now this is nice. Watching my teammates take C over there was very helpful. I've seen a lot of deaths around there by C, but fortunately they were able to take C. So I'm gonna stay focused over here by B. I see a light machine gun class like right over there, a little bit to my right, laying down. There's a good spot on him, so I'm able to push him and take him out with that. And I know there's gonna be people in that little building right there, so I just blindly shoot and I get a kill. So yeah, I don't use this enough when I'm playing on other maps, but on this map itself, I think I might be using a lot more of the AT rocket. I think this will be a more of an appropriate assault, one of the assault weapons on this map. I'm more of an 18 mine. If I'm dealing with tanks, I'd rather use an 18 mines to take out tanks. So yeah, that's kind of my approach. And plus, I don't feel like the grenades will be as useful. I'd rather be using dynamite as my other kit, just because, as well, I have the little perk on for the dynamite, right? And just because it's always nice to bring that in, and you can throw them in the buildings when you see people in buildings, and you'll, have the debris fall on them if you need that to happen. So that was a good flank right there. We still got some people on B. You're going to see here in a little bit, like a second, I'm going to have some good range where I post up right about here, yeah. You're going to see, this is probably about the range you want to be shooting this at. You can see this guy here. I don't shoot this guy because I feel like he's just a little bit too far. I'm going to take out this guy right here. So this is going to give you a good idea where a good healthy range is at if you want to get some pretty solid quick kills. So that guy was already pretty weak. You're going to see me a little bit miss this guy just a little bit. There we go. There we go. But that's about it. You don't want to get too much of these situations here where you're like taking forever to shoot a guy, and his teammate spawns on him and then ends up shooting you because you're taking too long. And so I'm always trying to judge that distance where I get a good healthy range where I'm able to quickly kill someone. So yeah, we're still pushing down towards B. We're creeping up on them really slow, but we're getting there. I'm putting some damage on that cavalry class. See, they're a little bit far out right over there. I'm getting blasted right now. So yeah, really good little bit of suppression fire, but something you're gonna take out a lot of people out when you're that far away. It's just fun to experience a little bit of the stabilization on the weapon and see that the control of it is much better than normally you'd be dealing with an assault SMG. Get a little grenade that puts some damage on me, and then I get shot from the side. But I think yeah, that was just enough for us to get just enough over that hump over there where we're able to take the lead at the last second. So like I had said, you might watch this game and be like, oh, I think the train is might be OP or might be a little bit too much on the map. I've heard when I was coming into the game, I heard a lot of people, or I was hearing some people say, I was reading some Reddit posts and seeing some people just complaining about the train, saying they didn't feel like it was doing anything at all. I don't know, I haven't seen too much of a problem with it at all, because like I said, when I playing on sometimes where the enemy team has a train, I'm able to grab those anti-artillery weapons and put some damage on the train, and then I was watching my teammates right there bring ourselves back in from a very poor start. So oh no, not too bad. We'll definitely see how the outcome is for the retail version of this coming out. Again, this is just a CTE. It's just a very rough draft of what this map's going to be like. So we'll see how it progresses in the future. Again, thanks. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.